So, it's 2 days after the last divorce hearing. Sheriff Peter Patterson has made the decision to rush me. For the first time in I think it's way over 4 months since the last hearing. It was in midsummer. They have now allowed me to have my own savings in my account, and I've got this cheque in my pocket, dated, that's Patricia Tom's signature. I've got a cheque for £29,000, dated the 3rd of December, and it's now the 6th of December. What they're accusing me of is tardiness in getting my affairs dealt with, and because I proclaimed that my wife tried to section me first in 2011, when the doctors told me that they get £40,000 of their 100 grand salary, or more, for prescribing by volume. That's Dr. Sandy Morris, who's in the Kelso surgery, who are sectioning me because of my political activism. And because of statements like that. That's been published online since 2011. When I accused my wife of prompting for that and telling the court on Friday that I would take legal action against her and the whole of the crooked law enforcement system in Scotland that are trying to silence me as a political activist, as soon as the sheriff heard that, and they've known it for months, and the woman who is the head of she's the Justice of the Peace and was in the criminal court that day, she was one of the sectioning team that convened the locked door hearings. And all of it is a total stitch up, and so 2 days later we get massive wins for the whole of the 2 days that ensue. And on the day before the 4th of December, I made a video on the Roosevelt bloodlines and the fact that the estates were in Springwood Estate. So that there is the gates to Springwood Estate. There. Let's go down and have a wee look at it. But first let's have a look at the damage that's been done. This bridge has stood up to the battering, and the contractors that built it were Murray and Lees. This is Mr. George Lees. The woman that is defrauding me and works in British Intel is Mrs. Valerie Jane Lees. It's quite an amazing biblical flood. That's an island. And those are the arches that have somehow or other stood up. You can see how big it's been by the watermark on top of those arches. And the fishing hut for the junction pool has been completely swept away. So you can see, maybe you can see the boat for the junction pool dangling on the end of the point. It's almost up onto the part of the town that was the old Roxburgh village. And on the left there, that line of trees, you'll see that when I made the first video this morning, because they've crashed it, that there's a car in amongst those trees that incredibly tried to drive through that massive flood. And all of the ambulance and police services were here this morning rescuing that guy. Hello. And on that wall there's a gauge for the levels of the river, but the flood is so great it's over the top of the gauge. And just up there, when you see the back of the John Hogarth trucks right in front of the castle, in amongst the trees there, you can see the car that was marooned there this morning. And the emergency services had to take the guy from it and I'm now gonna go to the races. And that could well be my wife. My wife was unable to attend the hearing on Friday because she's with her mum who's ill, was the story. Okay, I'm off to the races, and that on the left there where you can see the puddles beyond the wood, that is the Springwood estate, which is the series of jokes about FDR and the troops being over there. That's FDR that run 4 regimes in America. And that's where we're decided, and that's the Episcopalian Church. And in the Episcopalian Church this morning, they proclaimed that the storm was so severe that we could not get milk into our town. Going to try and catch up with my wife.